Hi everyone! Have you ever dreamed of making your own jewelry? If you have, then this tutorial is definitely for you. You don't have to have any experience in making jewelry. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make two styles of easy earrings. This is perfect for beginners. I'm going to show you what tools you will need and what jewelry parts you will need. And the styles that you will learn to make in this tutorial, this round style that you can see here, and this straight style. These two pairs of earrings I will be making in this tutorial, and after you watch it, you can make these too. So stay tuned. I'm going to start off by showing you how to make the easier of these two designs, and it's this one. It's just a straight hanging design here. You can make earrings for every outfit you own. These are pretty quick to make. So let me show you the tools that you will need. You will need a chain nose plier, preferably two. I always like to have two. They are little pliers like this. They have a smooth inside and they taper towards the tip. Then you will need a round nose plier, which has rounded noses like this. They also taper towards the tip. And cutting pliers, which will cut wire. And then what you will need to make this earring, you will need one head pin. So when you make a pair, you will obviously need two of each of these that I'm showing you. So a head pin looks like this. It has a nail head, which means that it is flat. And this will prevent your beads from sliding off. So that's why it looks like that. These come in different sizes and lengths. For beginners, I would say get as long as you can so that you have space to work with. You will need an ear wire, something like this. And you will need your beads. For me, the beads are here. I've got 3 crystals and 1 glass pearl. Let's start. You will start with the head pin and just start putting your beads onto your head pin. Sometimes these glass pearls can be a little difficult if the coating is blocking the hole, but right now it went in just fine. And the last little crystal. The red crystals here are genuine Swarovski crystals. Okay, so we have a little bit here left of our head pin, and that's our working space. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers and grabbing this right above the top bead. Now, where you position your pliers matters a little bit. If you grab with the very thickest end of your round noses, you will get a bigger loop. If you grab with the very tip, you will get a smaller loop. I don't want a big loop now, so I'm going to grab something like there. Hold on. Not too strongly though, you might damage your head pin, but strongly enough so that it will stay there. And then I'm going to push this. Okay, I'm not holding strongly enough. There we go. Push this back so that it goes like that. I'm going to reposition my pliers like this. Okay, I'm going to put it a little bit that way because I want a smaller loop. And I'm going to bring it forward like this. Now it looks like that. Reposition my pliers again and push it underneath. Now remember, there are many different ways to make a loop. This is the way that I make it. There might be better ways, there might be different ways, but this was my way. So there we have the loop right now, and I have a pretty short end here, but I still would like to wrap this around the stem here. If you are a beginner, I suggest that right at this point you take your cutting pliers and you cut it right about there, like that, so that you get a very simple loop that you can open and slide your ear wire in. but I want to do the wrapped loop. And at this point, when you do the wrapped loop, it's good to put your ear wire in. So I might need to open this a little bit. What I do is I take my chain nose pliers and I just push it up a little bit so that it opens up like that. And I'm gonna slide in my ear wire like that. And then I'm gonna take my chain nose again and hold on to that loop. And now what I want to do is wrap this end around the stem there. With this short an end, it's not always easy. I'm gonna do my best here. I can do it with my finger for a while, but okay, it's getting too sharp for me. So what I need to do is take another pair of chain nose pliers and help it with the pliers. Like I said, if you're a beginner, I suggest that you, okay, I'm gonna cut it from there. There's a little bit of extra there, so I'm gonna cut that off. I'm not going to try to put that around the stem anymore. You need to be careful so that you won't damage your top bead here. Okay, I need to do it this way. And you need to be careful so that nothing will fly onto your eye from this. And if you want to, you can still take your chain nose and you can try to smooth it out a little bit so that it won't stick anywhere. I think it's pretty well in there. Okay. So your earring is ready right now. And let me show you the other one. There they are. And you might want to add this here. This is like a little rubber stopper that will help these to stay in your ears. So what you do is you just take one, and what I like to do is I like to do it like that. So not push, but kind of like screw it on. Because sometimes if you push it, they sometimes have very small holes. And if you push it, you might end up damaging your ear wire. It might go all haywire. So yeah, there we go. So there we have a very cute pair of very simple earrings that you can make very quickly. Okay, let's move on to the other design. So let's start making the other design. It is this one. It's a round design, and these are really cute. And these are also pretty easy to make, so don't worry if you're a beginner. What you will need for this is the same tools that I showed you at the beginning of making the other style. And on top of that, you will need 2 of these round ear wires. You can get these from beading stores, craft stores. Yours might look different than mine, but what it should have is a little hole from which you can put on the ear wire. And they come really in different sizes, so just pick a size that you like. So the ear wire that I just mentioned, you will obviously need that too. And then you will need some beads. What I have here is a couple of crystals. And then I have here a bunch of glass pearls. These are very tiny and very pretty. They are also a little bit difficult to work with sometimes. Let me show you what I mean. So let's start with this round ear wire. Now how to open this up? How do you get the beads in here? Well, you just pull very gently and it opens up from the end. Of course, your design might be different. Always check how yours work before you start making it. And the reason why I mentioned that these small glass pearls might be a little difficult to work with, let me show you. Like right here. Let me see if I can manage to straighten it up. There we go. You can see a little knob there at the top, like that, right over there. That is the coating of them. It's a color, it's the pearly coating, and it has pulled right on top of my hole. And here at the bottom, check that out, sometimes the coating even covers this bottom hole. And that's sometimes problematic when you try to get these onto something that is not very strong like this one. You have to be very careful with this because it's very thin, as you can see, and it can easily, you can easily pull it off and make it non-round. So you have to be careful. So that's why you always, I suggest that you find the bottom hole, like here you can see the bottom hole, because, oops, yeah, these are tiny, because the top hole might have the knob on there, like this one has. So let me start off by putting in, and you sometimes have to push a little bit, like there we go. It broke that pulled little knob there. So then I'm just gonna pull it in. And I'm gonna put 8 right here. There we go. Of course, you don't have to fill this whole circle with beads. You can only put beads, for example, here in the middle, hanging a couple of beads. That would be just fine too. So there are so many different ways that you can use these round ear wires. Like here we have a little bit of typical oops, okay, well that dropped. That's okay, I can find it later. There we go. So as you can see, it's just not always that easy. Now I have half of the beads. There we go. 5th bead. And I need 8 here. There we go. That's 6. 2 more and we can put on the crystal. So that's 7. And that's 8. Okay. Okay, 8. Good. So now I'm going to put in my crystals. And these red ones are Swarovskis. This turquoise one is not. It's just a very pretty crystal. That too. And then another pink crystal. There we go. And then I'm going to put another 8 of these glass pearls. There we go. 1, oop. 2. Oops. They are very tiny. It's not always that easy, especially if you have big hands. 3. 5. 6. 2 more. 7. 1 more. 8. There we go. Cool. There is a little bit here extra, but that comes because I need to close this. There we go. I pushed it real nicely, and then I try to pull these a little bit so that they are in the middle, approximately. Okay, oops, I opened it up again. There we go. Sometimes you might have to work a little bit to get it there in the middle. I probably could have fit in 1 more bead some more, but I wanted to have the same amount here on both sides. Okay, so then take the ear wire, and you could always use a jump ring here in the middle, but if you want this to hang like this, you know, you push this through your ear and you want it to hang like this, then don't put in a jump ring, because if you do, it will go like this. That's simply because if I put this here, it will hang on like this, and if I put my ear wire on, it will hang like this, so it will turn it like this in your ears. That's why I'm not putting any jump rings here. My ear wire, most ear wires have a little loop, but you have to be careful with this because they are not always very sturdy and they might break pretty easily. So take a chain nose plier and very gently pull it sideways, not too much, Hope you can see there. Not too much, you don't need to put a lot. And slide this on, and then you obviously need to close it carefully again. There we go. Okay, so there it is, and as you can see now it hangs the right way. And again, we want to put a little rubber stopper here, screwing it on so it won't damage our ear wire. And then there they are, cute little pair of earrings. So as you can see, making earrings is really, really easy. It's not that difficult at all. Even if you're not making any other jewelry, making earrings could be for you because it's not difficult, and the only thing you need is the tools, which are not that expensive, and some beads, which you can get in any craft store. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, and I hope you make some earrings now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.